Heat 2 of the New South Wales Championship today, incorporating the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. On behalf of Sale Media Productions, I'm Peter Shipway, and joining me in commentary this afternoon will be Andrew Buckland and Jimmy Bury. And the sun is trying to get out, and we've got a good, brisk southerly breeze. But to update you on all the weather, say good afternoon to Andrew Buckland.
Well, Pete, there's a prize. What's the water temperature at Coffs Harbour right now?
I want to know what the wind is on the west coast of Tasmania after you finish. Very important.
Fresh to frightening.
As usual.
As usual.
But let's look at Sydney Harbour, and what have we got?
Well, Pete, you know, pretty persistent low pressure cell that's kind of come to a bit of a stop in the middle of the Tasman Sea. So we've got this persistent southeast, south flow, and yesterday was mildly ferocious for early summer weather in Sydney. Breeze up to about 35, and today a calmer version of that, but the direction's still 160, 170, and expectation that the range during the race today just maybe fade a little as the day goes on, but the range still 12 to perhaps 20 might cover it. And so good stuff, second sail, awkward day, no current to speak of, so probably pretty smooth water, basically, you know, in neutral tide conditions pretty much for the race. And our friends on the committee have put us on course 4. Suddenly, fantastic.
We're over in Athelbite, where the start is, at Taronga Park Zoo, for those familiar with Sydney Harbour. And as you say, southerly course 4, and to talk us through the course, say good afternoon to Jimmy Bury.
Good afternoon, Pete. Great to be out here with you guys again. Course for today is the same as what we did last week, so it's nice and exciting. A nice big long run down to where are they going?
Obelisk, Pete.
Obelisk,
Jimmy.
That's
Obelisk.
Right. So yeah, we start down here in Athol, up to Clark, the long run down to Obelisk, work back up to Shark, another tight run across here back to Athol, and we do that 2 times over. And it's when we came around this morning, Pete, it was pretty hairy down there with the bit of southeast swell running, so we might see a little bit of carnage down at the bottom mark.
Well, on screen at the moment, we're watching last week's winner, Noakes Sailing, who did a terrific job. They were threatened throughout by Tech 2, but Tech 2, unfortunately, on the last leg had a bit of an equipment failure, but there's Sean Langman and the boys. So they won the first heat of the championship last week, and full credit to them. Yandu was second. But Andrew, talk us through Tech 2. We saw them, as I say, challenging for the lead. They only took it towards the end at Rose Bay, but then Noakes got their nose back in front, and then going to the finish, Tech 2 capsized. What actually happened there?
Well, the trapeze-wise hook onto the top spreader base, and inadequate safety margin, shall we say, in that attachment, and the top spreader actually broke off at the root under the load of the trapeze and the forward wing wire. So they've come back this week with a beefed up version, and a quick walk around the park, Peter, surprises, reveals a number of crews replacing the strops and other bits and pieces. So the fleet kind of shares the information, and Tech 2 with Luke Parkinson on the main sheet today, subbing for Charlie Wyatt, will probably be back to their best.
Okay, well, on screen is a newcomer today. Andrew, talk us through Andu. What do we know here?
Well,
Andu,
the mildly rebadged winning group. So Sevi Jarvin on the stick today, Matty Stenner on the main sheet, and Sam Newton in the bow, and they'll be good. And a lot of work being done. Ian Murray's leading the technical side of that development, and kind of a little bit of reversion to the traditional format. And as you see there, number 2 jib on the end of the spread. They've taken off the prodder on the mast, try to get the gust response restored and get the low range speed increased and slightly lower the centre of effort, Pete. So a bit of influence from ocean racing keel boats in a sense. Low centre of effort equals good speed across the range.
Well, Smeg is also without their normal skipper today, Michael Coxon, who's been out of action for some time. He was talking to him in the park earlier. He broke his toe in the very first race. He came out and tried to race with it in the second race. It was no good, and we haven't seen him since. So Mika Lane will be a very able substitute, along with Ricky Bridge and Zach Barnabas in the Smeg. And we're still waiting starting signals. We're in Athelbite. There's some spiky bits of southerly coming down. So it's going to be an interesting first beat, Andrew, I think. Which way do we go?
I don't know, Pete. Your job today. My eyes are cloudy after yesterday.
The swimmer's trophy yesterday, Bucko.
Absolutely. I mean, Pete, you know, the best wind is on the right side, I think, on average, right? So ignore the tide because, we're at the last of the flood, in fact, as the gun goes. But I would think that if you went, try to get to the windward mark from the hard right edge, you would lead. Hard to get because of the proximity of the high land at Point Piper, hard to get up the left-hand side.
You look famous early going left, but
exactly.
you fall off real quick because of that.
You know, Pete, you of all people would know the fetch up to the back of the nice flat ground at the back of Rushcutters Bay is a long way from here, isn't it? It's another, half a mile of fetch to much lower topography. So, and it does kind of funnel down that hill, down that valley.
There's Blake Balmain Slake just on screen there as we come round to the committee boat. And Noakes behind her, last week's first heat winner. And deservedly so. They sailed a terrific race throughout in really tough conditions. Some boats had reefs in their mainsail, but not today. All on number 2 rigs. I don't see any reefs in. Yandu were contemplating it, but I think they're out with the full hoist mainsail.
Yeah, no, the entire fleet had made a decision, Pete, before 1 o'clock. It's not going to be big sail, therefore it's second sail, and we don't have a reef because we think the breeze will fade a little. And if it was a normal weather pattern, we would say the breeze was going to fade quickly, but the air temperature associated with that low pressure cell and the cold water from Bass Strait is still up to, north of Point Perpendicular. It's warm, up at Seal Rocks considerably, 23, and down at Point Perp it's 16. So those two, for the people offshore, those two locations separated by 200 miles with a water temperature difference of about 6 degrees centigrade or more than about double that in Fahrenheit.
About 10 seconds off signals here. Boys.
Here we go.
Okay, well, there's Yandu on screen. John
4,
Winning,
3,
Jasper Warren
2,
and Mike Kennedy.
1, I reckon. Where are they? No.
They've had a pretty good year. New boat this year. They've been there or thereabouts in most races. They were leading in one race and capsized going to the finish, and then a solid second last week.
But Pete, you know that Woody and co are looking over their shoulder in strong degree, don't you? They're nervous about their prominence and thinking that a fleet's going to catch back up to them, which might not be the best way, but Woody's a little bit realistic in that he's not 21 anymore, is he? And
no, but he's showing some of those 21-year-olds how to do it at this early stage in the season, but long way to go. But anyway, he's got a fast boat, I think.
No, clearly, like
well
we said,
set up.
Like we said, she's well sorted, and it probably won't get much better. Is the problem, But I mean, Pete, I always, I try and talk to everybody in the park a bit, but these boats can be pretty humbling, until you get the combination right and the coordination right and the rig set up right all at once. It doesn't matter what you've done before. Until that's all good, you can have a pretty bad day out, even, with 3 highly skilled people. Until they're welded as a unit and all the bits work, you're in an awkward place,
Well, there's Andu there, a brand new boat with multiple JJ Giltinan winner Sevi Jarvan at the helm. We've had starting signals. We're about 4.5 minutes to go on the southerly course, Heat 2 of the New South Wales Championship. And what do we look like with this line, Andrew? Have we got a favoured end, do you think, at this stage?
Well, I just think you've got to start in the top half of the line and get on a port. I wouldn't worry about the line bias too much.
Okay, 4 minutes to go. There's the committee boat with the 4 flags up.
It's a pretty decent line. It might be a bit short is the only thing I would say. Off the lead in, you've got runway, surely, and you probably can get a good start out of there, but less risk starting toward the committee boat.
Well, there's a 12-foot skiff just going to the stern of the committee boat. He's probably mixed up his start, but he's away. There's another one right in the foreground. So they're starting just behind. They'll be clear by the time the 18s go. We've got about 3.5 minutes to go.
And Pete, you know, the fleet, fairly conservative. And, you know, we've had a pretty torrid few weeks of sailing, haven't we, in a certain way? And so everybody's feeling, I think, a bit the pressure of sailing in fruity conditions, we'll call them.
Fruity. Understatement.
Yeah.
We've had 2 fruity days for the last 2.
Yep. And also just the reality of, you know, maintaining the boats and repairing the boats. It's a tough week, so, you know, even just sailing 1 day a week, it can be quite tough. So if they get a bit of practice sailing in, a bit of boat work, a bit of this, a bit of that, suddenly the week, you know, the race day comes around pretty quick.
And as new skipper on Burrawang Hotel today, Ben Bradley.
Young Benny boy.
Along with Rory Cox and Brandon Byink. New sponsor this year.
Rory and Ben have done a fair bit of sailing in other classes and yachts and so forth, so there'll be some symmetry there. Just how well young Benny does on the twiddle stick on an 18 we'll see today.
Well, that's Burrawang in to the right there.
Shore and Partners just behind them, Pete.
Shore and Partners, Steve Thomas, Lindsay Stead and Finn Alexander.
Oh, just inside 2 minutes.
Remembering, Smeg with Mick Lane on the tiller today. Standing in for Michael Coxon. And on Tech 2, Luke Parkinson. Standing in for Charlie Wyatt. Pretty powerful crew on that boat. So, 1.5 to go. Yandu with a red and blue oval. Just behind them is Tech 2. They're all up at this end with 1:20 to go.
Yeah, so Noakes just looking. He's Noakes the most left-hand boat towards the pin, looking a little early, perhaps.
He's going to lead them down to the pin.
In a setup. But, Pete, you know, the line at full speed is only 30 seconds long. And
not even.
Yeah, not even is correct, James. I was being polite.
Very polite.
Yeah. Minute to go.
You're dragging your spinnaker over the side, maybe.
Yeah. But, you know, the boy, I mean, Josh, I know in the bow of the Noakes and Air, pretty good at stopping it and slowing it down and doing all sorts of things.
There's a gap appearing at the committee boat end now as the fleet dragging down to towards the pin.
But very dangerous in the middle of the line there. Boats too close together, in my view.
Yeah, Yandu's had to tack out.
Well, that's not a bad thing. He's escaped the huddle. Somebody in the tide behind them.
Andu's in the tide.
And Andu's in the tide as well.
Welcome back, Sevi.
Yeah, welcome back, Sev.
Welcome back. Yandu has tacked back. We've got 20-odd seconds to go.
Breeze gone left, and Noakes doing a fantastic job of just
good at the pin, Noakes.
Holding them up, holding them up.
Smeg will be the weather boat here at the committee boat.
And Pete looking up the track, Breeze on the right and Breeze on the left.
So down a bit too in pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two conflicting winds. Here we go.
We're away. Clean start. Clean start, I would say, from our vantage point. Smeg got the committee boat, but down to leeward, I think it would be Noakes. And the Burrawang Hotel was well placed. Andu just getting themselves going. They recovered pretty quickly from that capsize. They're going away on port tack. Fisher Paykel tacked onto port quickly.
And the Rag and Famish has come back for some reason.
Oh, okay. Well, no one was over. There was no individual recall. And we're just watching, having said no boat's got a reef in. We've got Lazarus Capital Developments, the young crew, they do have a reef in.
Yeah, light on.
Yeah, anyway. Steep learning curve for those boys, but good luck to them, they're out. Yep. So the fleet are away, the majority going in towards the western side of Bradley's Head. Down there we've got Tech 2, Noakes. Yandu look prominent, but I think it'll be Noakes that'll bail out first and probably cross the pack of the boats that have gone left from the pin end at the start.
And plenty of wind in that pack there, Pete, right now. Little puff here at 18:20. So the most Downwind we expect to see more or less right now.
Just looking back at the starting line, Appliances Online in a bit of trouble there. They're not across the starting line, so they've given them a huge start. But as we feature the leading group, you've seen Noakes tack first, and he crossed the fleet. Tech 2's tacking. Oh, there's a capsize.
Royal Oak Hotel, Aaron.
Royal Oak Hotel.
It looks like there's a bit of a problem on the Balmain Slate, just in the foreground, like the vang's gone or something.
Another boat. Shaw and Partners in trouble.
Having trouble.
Really gnarly here, Andrew.
Yeah, no.
And left, a little bit left.
A fair bit left. Balmain Slate on screen, fixing the boom vang by the look of it.
Royal
and other boats in it, plenty of bother over here. Shaw and Partners in irons. Royal Oak been in the tide and back up again.
Don't they?
And that's the Balmain Slate just tacking.
But they might have been waiting for the starboard tacker as well, you see.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
Give them some points.
Some points?
Yeah. Okay. So, Pete, this might turn into a survival contest again.
Yeah, plenty of wind now. We've got 18-20 solid here off Bradley's head. Tech 2.
Wow.
It's on Tech 2 on the left. Behind him, the Burrawang Hotel doing very nicely. And just ahead of them, Noakes. There'd be the three leaders. They hit the Bradley's head short and punched out off that. Going out now onto port towards the turning mark at Clark Island. Second heat, state championship for the 18-footers, Sydney Harbour. There's the Rag and Famish Hotel. They've recovered. Harry Price, Josh McKnight and Harry Hall. Majority of the fleet on port.
So, Pete, we're looking at a race shaping a bit like last week, Tech 2 and Noakes.
Yeah, they were the two that were battling out for most of the way.
But I tell you something else. It may even be that Andu might be able to get in touch with them up the beat here. Despite capsizing, they got cleanly up and got a run on port. And they're still about sixth place after being in the tide as a gunwind. So
yeah, they found a lane to get across, as you say, and they recovered quickly from the capsize. But Noakes leads. Gee, these boys are on fire.
So there you see a bit of skill on the star line, Pete, yeah? They mortgaged the real estate and didn't let it go, did they?
About 2 minutes out, he wanted that end. He did a very, very good job of slowing down and pushing the pedal at the right moment. But that's the group that are challenging for second and third we're on now. Furthest left is Yandu. We just can't see Tech 2. He's off screen at the moment to the left. He would be second.
Yep, here he comes.
There he is, just tacking.
Not quite right, but
on the starboard.
Noakes is going to lead here by quite a way.
As they approach the weather mark, it's up and down in pressure here, Andrew, isn't it? It's quite light at the mark.
Yeah, so you got to switch sort of from the Rush Cutters Bay funnel to the Double Bay funnel.
Yeah, change gears.
Change gears a bit as well. And Yandu and Finport will both be in good nick as well. So we're looking at Tech 2 here, down to leeward. Lazarus.
Capital, that's Marcus, that one?
Yeah. Marcus, he did promise he'd be good on the start line today, Jimmy.
It's nice of him.
Well, he had a wobble last week when he was over the line at the start, didn't go back, finished third on the water, but was subsequently adjudged OCS, so his points don't count.
Yeah, he sailed brilliantly last week. Just pity about the just OCS too.
Yeah, well.
You look back at it.
But Pete, we did say last week, didn't we, that we thought Noakes would have gained a fair degree of confidence about their ability to maintain the lead last week. And that has transferred to this week pretty cleanly, hasn't it?
They are smoking, but we're on Tech 2 at the moment. They're going to have a very nice lead, Noakes, when we come round to see them round this mark. They're about 100 metres downwind of the turning mark here at Clark Island. And then the long run down to Obelisk.
A cracker.
More
than 2 miles, Pete. Are you up for it, son?
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Okay, there's Noakes. Interesting, they're getting a new boat, which will be delivered just after Christmas, I believe. So nothing wrong with this boat. But the Noakes youth are going to jump into this boat, so they're going to have a pretty good machine, well tuned to get into, as Noakes tack now on a low line for the weather mark.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind having that as your spare boat, would you?
No. A few little puffs going to greet him before he gets to the mark.
And a
Big curly one right at the barroway lining him up.
A curly one at the barroway, as Jimmy said.
Ed Powies on the main. Josh Porbeski.
Josh Podesky on the bow.
Pobepski on the bow. Pobepski. Out of the way. You know, just,
All
he's
good.
right. Yep.
All good.
Nice job. And this lead's going to be a good 25, 30 seconds. It'll be Tech 2 will be next.
Yeah, it's certainly 20, Pete. Yeah. No shoot yet on the Noak, so
No.
off
Oh, he's
on the course axis, but he will have to set eventually. But enough wind and enough east in it, so maybe
Yep.
wind now about 160 magnetic for those of you
Big puff
navigating.
here on the Tech
There's
2.
Tech 2.
And Tech
Ooh.
2 cannot get the bow down at the moment.
He'll be
Hasn't
right.
cracked.
There he
Here
goes.
she goes.
And tight for third. Yandu Squeezy, you'll see them in a moment. Underneath Rag and Famish, you're going to roll over the top of them. So the Rag will be third, Yandu fourth. And screaming is Marcus Ashley Jones in the Lazarus Capital Partners. And there's Smeg tacking on the mark. Nicola Lane at the helm today.
Oh, and Woody nearly sank the
Oh,
Yandu.
there's Burrawang, Vintech,
So
Finport.
here's the peloton.
Here they
Okay.
come. No sign of Andu yet.
I can see Andu way off in the distance near Bradley's Head doing a flop over to a flop over.
Right. Okay, there's the Birkenhead point. She's round next in the group, and in the mix is Ilve,
Getting the rust out.
Nick Daly, Kirk Mitchell, John Walton, and the Royal Oak just struggling to get round the mark.
And having to do two little tags.
Oh, dear. That's costly. Aaron Everett, John Cooley and Charlie Gundy.
Yeah.
And then Shaw and Partners will follow them. Fisher Paykel, they must have got lost a bit up that beat. And
Yeah, most of these guys have been in the tide at some point.
so away we go on the run to Oldest. We haven't seen any spinning as yet. Noakes and Tech 2 have gone very, very high, so they can set their shoots.
Trucked in by a few spectator boats back there, boys.
The group we're on now are fighting out for third place. The big comeback of Andu, or the new comeback of Andu, she is out of the running at the moment. She hasn't even got anywhere near the weather mark, and Jimmy said early she was done a couple of turns and capsizing, we believe. So anyway, we're on the chasing up to the leaders. There's Marcus Ashley Jones in the Lazarus Capital Partners. They are in fifth spot.
So looking at the trend now, Pete, and we're on the Ragged Famish. Looking ahead though, looks like Tech 2 might be getting close to challenging Noakes here.
Noakes has gone super high. She's about
You start high and you get less wind, and so you go higher.
Yeah.
They'll be sitting and shooting pretty soon.
I'd say you'd have to think Noakes will be on a shoot very quickly.
Advisedly about now, in fact, but wow, bit of east in it down this side, down this part of the harbour.
That's Tech 2. That's Black Spinnaker in the background. It's a 12-foot skip, so he doesn't come into play in the 18-footer race. On Tech 2 in second place.
So these boys just trying to figure out.
There's Noakes there. You can see him.
Yep, it's not subtle at all. Put the chute up, the bow goes down in this wind strength, a little more than 20 degrees.
When do you push the button? That's the thing.
Yeah,
They've got to push it soon. Either of these two boats.
so they want to set the chute and scrape down over the headland on the approach.
Okay,
chute.
there it goes on
Through
Tech 2.
to
Red
the mark.
Spinnaker.
Yep.
Still no shoot on Noakes. I think it'll be any moment we'll see it go up.
Noakes is today's sponsor as well, Pete.
Yep, crew in. Here they go. So as Tech 2 comes hammering down at them, slowly to leeward.
Pretty good sets on both boats. Yep.
Tech 2 got the shoot up and going.
There's the yacht race. And I think Tech 2's probably going to be right on the money, but it's a long way and there's plenty of wind at the bottom mark.
And Seaway.
George's Head is the next obstacle before the obelisk turning mark. Breeze in the left.
Looking at the keel boats coming upwind, further downwind, as a good indicator of wind direction. Tech 2 will struggle to make the headland from there now.
Well, these are the two that fought it out last week, and again, it's a repeat performance.
That red paint must be quick, Pete.
Red paint, red spittinger.
That's right. But Tech 2 look pretty confident about where they are, actually. Noakes looks like in VMG running at the moment, so Tech 2 at full heat, and Noakes trying to soak down towards the headland.
Advantage Tech 2 at the moment.
Yep.
As they're approaching George's Head and around into Obelisk Bay, they've opened quite a significant gap.
Wow, and the head sea coming around South Head.
Well, we want some spectacular action. There's the Lazarus partners, Capital Partners, Marcus Ashley Jones, Cam Gundy and Geronimo Harrison.
Probably in third, fourth on the field at the moment.
Yep. Another new boat this year, but they're the two leaders. Terrific shots, that. Terrific.
So, Tech 2, for Tech 2, they might get to the mark without jibing. Noakes Group has at least 2 jibes.
They're clear of George's Head. That's not a worry at the moment.
No. Tech 2 now, VMG running 2, Pete, so they're inside the channel mark but confident and might be able to at least get even with Noakes here, if not get in front of them.
Yes, I think Tech 2's just getting down. Advantage will be with Tech 2.
Yep.
When Noakes goes back, she'll have to jibe.
It's awkward here, 2 jibes in a bad sea state. Noakes, in fact, might be better advised to jibe in
just sooner than later, right?
Yeah. Because the sea state at the mark, it gets progressively worse. Yandu down the back of the bus here. They're in 4th or 3rd? Yeah, Lazarus is in 3rd, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, there's the race at the moment. They're the 2 leaders. Tech 2 will lead here at Obelisk.
Noakes
just setting up for the jibe. There they go. Oh, okay. Job done.
And Tech 2 doing a long jibe as well.
With them.
But there we go, Pete. They could have set 30 seconds earlier. Oh well.
So
nothing easy about that little fine bit of judgment though.
There's still not much in this.
No, not at all.
But Tech 2, I think, will lead. He'll come back on starboard jibe, make things a little bit awkward for Noakes. Although Noakes is running down a bit more pressure here.
Yeah,
Tech 2's just got it now, not far off a jibe. There we go.
Beautiful
Lovely
jibe on the Tech 2. Lovely as.
Oh, it's going to be close here.
Yeah, but Tech 2 going to the drop.
On that, Noakes trying to squeeze inside.
Good luck with that.
Pressure on all the crews here.
No,
Noakes will do it.
Nice.
Noakes will do it. Well done, Sean, and the boys.
That, Pete, pretty high risk.
Well, you got away with it.
You can do it today, but don't try that 10 times in a row.
Anyway, full marks to him.
No, absolutely.
Oh,
some good execution from both boats.
Yeah, both forward hands still in the boat.
Yep.
Just getting out now. Josh getting out.
Here comes the chasing pack behind.
How good, Pete?
Well, another good race, isn't it? These 2.
So Lazarus is going to get there 3rd, I think.
No, I'll go on Yandu. My money's on Yandu.
Is that right, Pete?
Yeah. The old bloke will get it done,
How much is he paying you every week?
Oh, plenty.
He's pushing his luck,
He's running a bit deep, but he'll... Oh.
Lazarus is trapped. Got that, but, Here we go.
Yandu will be 3rd.
But it is
Lazarus 4th, and then
nice
the rag.
Nice and bouncy the water here.
Get that.
It's calmed down a lot since when we came around this morning.
Okay.
Good job, Yandu. He's around.
Anyway,
Lazarus hot on his tail. Then
both boats not bad, but Lazarus at full power. How you looking now, Pete? What are we going to count that as? So Lazarus completely tidy, able to blast around the outside.
So the Rag will be next, and the Burrawang, Finport, Smeg. Burrawang's done a good job.
Oh, and they're going
Oh, have they? Oh.
I want to get some weight out on wire.
Don't speak too
So
soon.
for the viewers, the Burrawang with a turquoisey spinnaker nearly in the tide on the drop. Not quite.
Smeg coming in above them.
Zach Barnabas, welcome. Welcome, Zach.
He's around. Burrawang's okay.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Just, yeah.
Finport, after some problem at the top, Jimmy, they did a 360 for some reason up the top of the course.
I think they got trapped on the barrel with a gust, and then it rounded them up, and then auto-tacked.
Yeah, I think it might have been an auto-tack we didn't see. But they were a bit better placed 80% of the way up the beach.
Yeah.
There's Finport. Keegan York, Phil Marshall and Bryce Edwards. Fisher Paykel, Jordan Gertis, Nathan Edwards and Greg Dixon sailing today. They got a good start, but something must have happened up that first beat. They dropped way back. And Ilvay.
I think I saw them in a bit of...
Oh, Mast just broke just to the left of screen.
Just as I said, Ilvay, the mast broke. That is not a pretty
Just to the
sight.
left of screen. Sorry, viewers.
Not
Got
a
excited,
pretty
but it
sight.
was exciting.
Well, exciting for the viewers and not for the boys on board. That's bad luck.
And that was a new setup too, Pete, so...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Back
not
to the
too
drawing
good.
board.
A lot to untangle. And FinTech is the Noakes Youth Program. Tom Cunich, Flynn Sprott and Charlie Zeman.
Board.
And that's a sight we don't like to see. Very unfortunate for Ilvay.
And Birkenhead Point having a swim at the
Oh,
moment.
the
Just having a rest, really, not a swim.
Yeah, just lay down.
Birkenhead Point has come to grief. Tim Westwood, Alex Chittenden and Felix Devario. As Noakes Youth goes round. But anyway, there's Jordan Gertis and his team aboard Fisher Paykel. Nielsen Parkway in the distance, and this is the long beat now up to Shark Island. The Rag and Famish going out on starboard, just going across a Manly ferry that we'll see in 1 second. There we go, he's across him quite clearly, and the breeze generally softer across the track, Andrew, I think. And off camera, we're just seeing Finport getting a bit chicken winged up. But
Kogan must have had a big night.
there's the Burrawang Hotel. Vaucluse Bay, way in the distance. The Burrawang in about 5th or 6th position. What breeze strength we got here, Andrew?
Well, what range, Peter?
It's going from sort of 12 to 18, really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, I think that's about on the money, 12 to 18. And you'll see...
It's the Burrawang.
Smeg and the Rag and Famish there on screen, Pete.
Yep. Just going past the Sound Pigs Reef, just off Camp Cove, for those that know Sydney Harbour.
Bit of a breaking wave at high tide on the reef, Pete.
Yes.
That tells you all you need to know, really. So we're looking at notes here. They've gone left side up this beat. Deck 2 ahead of the leeward in the middle of the stream. As noted, tide not really relevant. Smooth water and better breeze.
See the puffs on the water coming to them. So it's not steady by any means here.
No.
further they get up under Nielsen Park, the worse it'll get for them. But he's lost out by going hard left. I think you can see in the distance. Tech 2.
Yeah.
They tack now, they'd be way ahead, but he's going back on a shocker here.
Progressive header, unless you're right up on the left. And he might be advised to go back, but and look at that. There's the left, and then, but it's
up and down, isn't it?
Difficult
Pressure and in direction.
He's on the outside of a nice lifting puff now, and he looks not too bad. And Tech 2 coming back across. So in the distance, you can see Tech 2 on screen.
So it's going to be close.
No, Noakes is still in front. As a byproduct of the lifted puff he's on, Pete, I think. Have I spoken too soon?
Possibly. Possibly.
All right. Let's see.
And the kitchen maker there,
The kitchen...
not in the mix here, aren't they?
No,
Or
he's not. He's
No.
had an earlier
Obviously
capsize, I think, and again he's just tested his speed. No,
Tech 2's in front, eh?
Tech 2's in front, and Yandu is in a very close third here. He's smoking along. He'll come into screen in a moment. Just forget the kitchen maker at the moment. He's not in the race. But Tech 2 now leads Noakes and Yandu. Yandu, any second, you'll see him coming across on starboard, just about 2 boat lengths behind Noakes. So again, Yandu's in the groove. They're both going in towards Nielsen, Tech 2 and Yandu. So a race in 3. Tech 2 is tacked. And probably to cover Noakes, I think, Andrew, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, he's covering a bit.
And there goes Yandu. So they're all now going up on port.
But, Pete, I think what he's looked at is appears to be considerably less wind on the left edge here. So, and for the viewers to the left of Tech 2, towards Nielsen Park, there's a big spot where the wind's only about 12 knots for a while. He doesn't want to sail in that for too long.
No, that's up under Nielsen Park. But off Steel Point, there's some nice left-handers if you can get up into Rose Bay. But anyway,
but efficient range for these rigs is about, it starts at 14 knots, Pete, so. Even though the breeze is bending, the rule kind of says here, perhaps sail into Nielsen Park on starboard and hit the tip of the point, but
yeah,
that's a rule to be thought about, not observed.
So just on the right is the Lazarus Capital Partners. That's Marcus Ashley Jones. He's in 4th at the moment. The boat just at the front of the Manly Ferry is Kitchen Maker. He's not in the contest. And then there's Noakes, Yandu in the foreground, and just on the left of screen is Tech 2, the race leader. All on port, going up across Rose Bay, but quite windy here again.
Yeah, no, the breeze funneling out of Rose Bay back up to 1820. Tech 2 got an now fairly solid lead, in fact. And when Yandu might even be second here too.
They're not really losing anything out on Tech 2 in Swap and Parko in for Charlie being out. You know, it's quite a very even swap, isn't it?
Couple of A-grade yachtsmen, so
Yeah.
all good.
The boat, as you say, that's doing well is Yandu. Rig setup looks good.
No, he's through the water, smoking along.
He's got excellent height.
Yeah, beautiful little lefty here, isn't it?
But he looks a little faster than Tech 2 through the water. VMG-wise, at least. So Woody's learned how to go this high mode, Shivers. He never previously. Good rig.
Bit of winter training.
No training whatsoever. Fang pulling a main on him saying, stick her up.
Steer to me.
Yeah,
Woody's training's on the golf course.
that's right.
But he's
Comes
going to
a
be
close
very
cross.
close to Noakes.
No,
I think he'd be across Noakes.
I think he is. No, maybe not, but it's close. But
Yeah.
Tech 2 leads by 20 seconds. No, Woody has to tack here.
Attacking under Noakes.
Yep.
It's a race in 3.
Right move.
Lazarus not far out of it.
Wow, that's a good contest, isn't it?
Yeah. So a good boat speed test here between the 3 of them.
Keelboat on port going, what do I do now? So
Get out of
viewers
there.
just left the screen. Wow.
Get out of there, buddy.
Wow.
You'll get singularly abused. I promise you. Oh, shocking
About
tackle.
to learn a whole new language.
Got to use the windward jib sheet as Lazarus Capital Partners goes across.
I'm sure he'll get some advice from Mr. Winning.
So Noakes and Yandu pedal down for second. Tech 2 leads. Noakes trying to get across the face of Yandu. Yandu in the little squeeze.
I'll have to talk to Woody afterwards.
Can he push Noakes out? Probably can at the moment.
Yeah, no, he can. He absolutely. Yeah. 40 years of no high mode, and suddenly he's got one. He won't know what to do with it.
and good breeze coming out of Rose Bay. They're going round Shark Island. And Yandu coming round the bow of Noakes. Noakes finding it hard to live there.
Well, Noakes pinned in hard to live in the lane.
I think he's got a bail.
No, he's happy. He's happy to live. Try and live.
Can't live there too long though, can he?
That's Lazarus on the steel point. Tech 2 the leader. So, how far up to a ley line here, Andrew? Then
a long way is the answer.
You think so?
And the right side will pay in here. So
really good pressure coming out of Rose Bay now. Solid white caps across the course.
Tech 2 in a commanding position really now.
So Noakes has bailed. Yandu's tacking. So
he's not far off tacking.
That was Yandu's.
Here he goes.
Tech 2 to tack.
Good effort there to hang there and then push Noakes away early. Tech 2's tacked. Yeah. Nice, good, comfortable tack.
So Tech 2's now just trying to stretch her out, Pete.
But look at this breeze here. This is 18,
nice.
20. Yeah,
lovely, lovely.
Plenty of white caps, plenty of wind for everyone.
Good gear changing conditions, Pete.
So they'll round here at Shark and then go back down to the starting area at Athol and basically do it all over again.
Yep.
They won't be far off. Little couple of left-handers. They'll get pretty close to a ley line on the Tech 2, but I think she'll have to shorten up a bit closer to the mark.
Two little short ones, Pete.
Yep. Lazarus in the background. Yandu not on screen, who's vying for second with Noakes.
Noakes will be scratching their head a bit about that because up the first beat they'd show the McLean pair of heels. But
they got gobbled up then, both by Tech 2, then by Yandu.
I think, wow, Tech 2 must be close to laying there. Keelboat fleet in front of us giving us a few messages. These boats included tacking angle very similar to a modern keelboat.
Well, if that's the case, Tech 2 will nearly lay because they've got some good left-hand pressure coming to them. And plenty of wind. Quite choppy.
Yeah, the outside of a left-hand puff, so keelboats would mainly these to get to the mark. A little...
Quite grey again in Sydney at the moment. The southerly still in. Anywhere between 12 and perhaps 20 knots. As Tech 2 leads the second heat of the New South Wales State Championship.
So Tech 2 fifth after breaking the trapeze wires on the last beat last week. Amazing. Fifth. They capsized when the wires broke and still got fifth.
Yes.
Starting with nobody on the wire.
Well, they couldn't load up the other wire for the risk of the same thing happening.
No, that's right. Yeah. Right. To sail the last leg, basically crew sitting in and flopping from one tack to another. But meanwhile, all is good at the moment. After a couple of short tacks to lay in, there they go again.
Tech 2 short, Noakes tacking as well. Very close here between Noakes and Yandu, Pete.
Okay, Tech 2 about 20 metres from the turning mark at Shark Island.
And nice little lull for him to get the bow down in.
There they go. And away to Athol.
So they'll get to the little wharf on the island there and
set, do you think?
Hoist. Yep.
You want to get past that yacht, you think?
The yacht's going to bear away. It's going around the channel mark effectively.
No.
And
this is tight for second.
Tacking right on Noakes.
Yeah. So these two
right
boats
underneath him. There they go.
Almost
second and third.
Almost touching each other. Not safe. It's not Dodgem cars. Peter, I told you that.
Noakes third.
Yeah.
And if you look down past those spinnakers, there's Lazarus limping home. So
It might be the other Lazarus, is it? Or the guys who...
I can't see Marcus behind us.
Just in front of Tech 2.
Yeah, so it is Marcus, obviously, with a terminal problem. So
This adventure must have just happened recently because he was right there coming up to Shark Island.
He was.
So these three have really galloped away from the remainder of the fleet. No spinnakers yet on the 3 leaders. And a long gap then to 4th. I think probably the Rag and Famish
and then the Burrowang.
Burrowang. Wow. Smeg's going home as well. Yep. Yep. So Andu's out, Lazarus is out, Smeg is out, Kitchen Maker's out,
And Tech 2 look like they're about to set.
so a race at 3.
So folks, we're travelling here with Noakes and Yandu in close company.
Still no spinnakers. I think Tech 2 just going in now to set
Yep. And a little rain squall just to add to the
drama.
the frisson of excitement. Just
Seeing,
a tiny sprinkle.
seeing the moment Tech 2 has set the spinnaker.
Big Nate's going for it there
Nate's-
on screen.
Yep, and then Yandu going
Yandu's got to
now.
respond, don't they?
Crew in.
And Noakes having set in a lull. He got out of the puff. Tech 2 on screen. And probably pretty well judged, I think. Noakes back to second here.
Yeah, just rolled over Yandu, set earlier. And got a nice puff to drive over the top of Yandu, but still very close.
So Pete, Tech 2, VMG running. So they should have perhaps set a little earlier. all
Earlier,
boats.
perhaps.
Yep. Easy to say sitting on our little platform, but
And not that much breeze looking upwind. They've got a good squall now, but not much behind this. This will
Yeah.
get them down nicely to the mark.
they'll travel on the face of this puff, Pete, for a long time. Look at Yandu with Woody sitting in, main sheet out, so not quite technically perfect, but in the hunt. There you go.
It works, Bucko.
Now he's hunting up for a bit of pressure on the Yandu. Noakes responding as well.
Well, VMG, Max VMG, I'm not sure exactly in this up-down range stuff, but
Yeah, the mark's well down to do it, isn't it?
the mark's well down. These guys couldn't have been much closer to Bradley's though in reality, so. 2 little jibes, I think, mate. How are you thinking? Tech 2 going into jibe now, I think.
I think they're just in a light spot, aren't they?
Noakes,
Yeah, possibly.
Noakes and Yandu are riding this gust down, as you say, Andrew.
Yep.
Noakes especially.
Only takes one good gust to save a bad judgment, but doesn't look like that's going to last all the way to the mark, so. So there's in a little rack up there, Tech 2, thinking about it.
I think they're trying to soak down by the looks of it, Bucko. Like, probably right on that
No,
cusp where you're probably quicker to do 2 jibes, right?
Yeah, they do a jibe and a jibe drop. They're just trying to figure out the ley line for a jibe drop into the mark itself. So 2 jibes, and only one of them completed. Noakes with a bit of sizzle and a bit of puff coming too, Pete.
Yeah, they're getting another gust here that'll get them down. Certainly Noakes will get there. They'll all get there, I think.
Yeah, Tech 2 back to 3 strings, so that tells you.
They're on.
God, they're putting themselves under some pressure, but there you go, good bit of wind. How about that, eh?
Yeah. Little gust
Great race,
probably
isn't it?
headed it. And good pressure. Now, Tech 2.
Pressure on now, dropping in the squall. Tech 2 pretty tidy, well judged. That's a little textbook, Pete. Put that in the book. And Noakes very tidy also.
Yeah, doing a good little puff here.
Yep. Got to dial her up in the puff. Not that pleasant. Yes, Woody. Turn. Turn. Still, safe as a bank. Breeze hard left. How about that?
And a distant fourth. That's for sure.
There is no fourth, Your Majesty. So Finport's still back at the headland to give the viewers an idea. So a good minute and a bit, and the two leaders just calmly advancing on port, and Yandu third back onto starboard. This might signal a little bit of rotation, Pete. I'm not sure really.
Finport fourth. We're on Yandu.
Yandu quickly onto starboard, digging back to the eastern side.
Which way up here, Andrew?
Left
or
I'm
right?
busy. I'm busy at the moment.
Well, I think Yandu wanted to clear his area because he's right up the exhaust chute of the other two, but here's Finport barrelling down in fourth.
So, and looking at that angle, Pete, you'd be on port tack now, not starboard. Great stuff from Finport.
Keegan York, Phil Marshall and Bryce Edwards. And there's Yandu. Beat up into Clark Island now. Noakes and Tech 2.
You'll see some of the chasing pack coming through the shot here in a sec with the Rag and Famish, Fisher Paykel and the Burrawang Hotel.
Fisher Paykel on screen there. It's the Rag and Famish with a purple spinnaker. They're a long way back.
But completed one lap.
Feels like it was a long lap, Pete.
Yeah.
Hey? Gee whiz.
But a lot of retirements again.
Yeah. High attrition rate. So that's the frame, viewers. Tech 2 leading, just sort of covering a little here, I think. But possibly all going the right way. Looks like the breeze might be a bit more left on average, Pete, and a bit softer, yeah?
Yandu going right into Bradley's head.
Yeah. Yandu setting up the tack, not on screen.
And behind us, the Burrawang Hotel, we've believed come to grief and capsized. There he is.
And
Yandu's a clear second.
Yep. And very close to the
The
leader,
first.
actually, Pete.
Absolutely.
Yep.
There's the Burrawang, and meanwhile, Yandu is leading. He crossed on port ahead of Tech 2.
So I take it all back. He was on the right tack, not the wrong tack, Peter.
Well, there's a,
There's the 18 footer
Noakes Youth,
footers.
18 Footers
Pedro.
Bar and Restaurant.
Nice
Pedro
little wine
Bazzoni.
glass.
Yeah.
A perfect wine glass.
What's the wine special there this week over at the 18 bar restaurant?
There's some cheap Prosecco, Jimmy, if you're after a drink.
There you go.
So Tech 2 still on starboard. Noakes is tacked right on Bradley's head to go across on port.
Birkenhead Point Marina in the flashing past after an earlier swim.
Travelling with Tech 2 now. Punching away in about 16 knots of wind. Nice mid-range second sail. Luke Parkinson in the middle. Jack, as ever, on the stick, looking pretty chilled. And Louis breaking the bow. Plenty of muscle and plenty of skill. And Pete, I would say that this side is the favoured side now.
Well, they're certainly pushing the side. There's Tech 2 now going hard left.
Yep. Just looking over our shoulder at where Yandu and Noakes have got to. These guys just need to find a little headed attack in.
Not far off attack now, surely.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Just keeps lifting them though, unfortunately, at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, they're into a header in the next path. Watch this.
Yep.
If they get a lift going back, could be overcooked here.
We can see Luke and Jack having a little debate.
Go out.
Yeah,
Attack now, skipper.
something like that. Here we go. Little jibbies. Nice. Not perfect. Oh, and a bit of a lull, so not great. And back into a little header, in fact. Wow. And I were hoping that was the other kind of puff, but
Yeah, they
both.
don't look anything great going back, do they?
No,
You can
but,
see Noakes there, high on
but you've got to get to the left somehow, haven't you?
the
You know?
left. Yandu they're all heading as they go across here, so further advantage to Yandu, but Noakes is on starboard coming back. Not much. Was he on? No, he's still on port. I'm
I
sorry.
think they're all on port.
Yeah, they're all on port. Sorry.
Everybody's on port. It just depends what Yandu in particular gets to come back on.
Yeah.
And by the look of you, Tech 2, they're now sort of the breeze, what we described as in the middle, as it were.
Yeah.
Not
No.
further
Now
on.
Noakes is on starboard.
Yeah, they were nowhere near laying Tech 2. They've gone back really on nothing special.
No, nothing special. That's
No.
right.
So that
So the shape of this next puff is quite important, in fact.
well, they will forfeit the lead, Tech 2, no doubt. And with Noakes going across, they'll be close to the lead again. Noakes with
Yeah.
Yandu. They've got starboard tack rights, and they will cross Yandu.
Yep.
Yandu's had to take a little bit dip, but go behind him.
So now it's Noakes versus Tech 2, perhaps. Tech 2's bow's not up far enough, though, is it?
No,
No, I
it's
think
not.
Noakes comfortable there, Bucko.
There you go. Rush Cutters Bay 1.
So Yandu will extend and try and come back and starboard tack at Noakes because Noakes is nowhere near laying.
No.
Yandu just tacking now right up into Clark Island.
So that makes Tech 2 third by a couple of boat lengths.
Bad tack on Yandu in the
Still was.
background.
There wasn't much wind there when he went.
No,
I think,
no,
Jimmy,
no.
that was half the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the first rule of yachting, Pete?
Stay in the wind.
Don't go where
So
the wind isn't.
Oh,
I think Tech 2 might be second here
still a very close race.
at the mark.
Don't throw away any of your tickets.
No, not at all.
No. So Yandu's gone from first to perhaps third. Noakes has gone from third to first. Tech 2's gone from first to second.
Maybe.
So plenty of snakes and ladders.
Anyway, they're all in touch.
Yep. And all for a thrilling race. Now Yandu will Tech 2 cross Yandu?
No, he's going to ease. Go behind him.
Yeah. No, Tech 2's tack
Right.
underneath him.
Going to attack. Wow.
Oh, gutsy.
Good, though.
Good tack, yeah, well done.
So they lead at the mark.
So Noakes leads, he's away.
Wow, so I mistook Tech 2 setting up for attack for Tech 2 setting up for a barrel
Right.
wave. It's a pretty similar thing, not identical, but Tech 2, wow. Fine work.
Okay.
Fine work. And Tech 2 away, straight away. Woody
Come on.
struggling to get the bow down.
Come on, old fella, get her away.
No.
Oh,
Got a big Frankenstein.
out of
bit
water.
on.
Big Frankenstein gust that didn't have the bang off.
He still can't get down. Now.
Now's your chance, Woody.
Yeah. So, down to obelisk we go again. No spinnakers. Main and jib for a long while, I would think.
There's fourth place in the background, so on the work is Finport.
Finport. Fisher Paykel will be fifth. And there we're above Yandu in the distance. Tech 2.
So, Pete, if the previous lap was any indication, Tech 2 will lead at the bottom. They managed to find ways to pass people downhill pretty regularly.
They're all hunting for pressure here. The three leaders are up, with probably the exception of Tech 2, has got a good little gust and got the bow down. Oh, Noakes is...
The low road wins.
Noakes is
Noakes
going
going
for the
for a
spinner
set.
gun.
Wow,
ran-
they had to set though,
Yeah,
Pete.
he ran out a bit of pressure, didn't he?
Yep. You know, these boats are pretty wind speed sensitive. 2 knots more wind equals at least 1 knot more boat speed. Find the wind. And Tech 2
coming right up the exhaust pipe of Noakes here. He'll set, I would think.
Well, but he's having to think about it, but he has to.
Has to, really. They've run out of gas. Yandu is set behind them to come barrelling down. Tech 2 goes.
Behind the spreader on Yandu. There you go, it's free.
Yes.
So Tech 2 probably didn't do quite the right thing there. But Noakes tangled up a bit with a
Yacht.
charter boat.
So Noakes, Sean Langman, Ed Powis, and Josh
Anyway, despite
Babesky.
all that, yeah, Tech 2 advantage, I would say here, Pete, now. Yeah.
Well, there's not much in this.
These sails getting the anti-foul done. Cost just went up at Noakes.
That's right.
It's appliances online running down, well back, and
Oh, well done for him for sticking at it.
yeah, and they're getting a bit of a bath off camera. The appliances online have almost come to grief, but we'll stick with the leading 3. They're off to Obelisk. Okay, but Jimmy, who's your money on the finish? Quick answer's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know. Tech 2 let it up there last time, so let's go with Tech 2.
Andrew?
Yeah, I think Tech 2 will lead down at Obelisk. And winning group, I'm sorry, Yandu's the fastest upwind, but
So the finish, I want to know, the finish,
Tech 2.
Tech 2, okay.
No discredit. Noakes been making a great fist of it.
Now they're really wicked up, and the next exercise to get round George's head. Look at that shot. Wow, isn't that fantastic? Look at that, we're right in the boat.
Nice. So Tech 2 at full wick here. And these guys struggling to get high enough to get over George's head without a drop and a reset. George's head away in the distance, down past Noakes. The gap between Tech 2 and Noakes, foreshortened by a camera, actually only about 4 boat lengths.
Comes there all barreling along. Yandu looks the most relaxed. Woody's sort of just sitting in quietly. Sitting there, but
The gentleman,
here's Noakes.
The gentleman's cruise on the Yandu, except Fang yelling at them. Beautiful.
Sean, Ed and Josh working very hard. They've got to get round that headland in the distance.
They'll be knocking off.
Yeah, all at the moment, all 3 will have to drop.
Yeah, no, and here goes Tech 2 on the drop.
Tech 2 first to drop. Yandu also.
Responding.
But Noakes, what he did last week, he went a long way in and then main and jibbed along the shore basically, and then reset. So he's hanging on, Noakes, here to the chute.
Hey Pete, and for the viewer not on screen, but the perfect full speed drop on the Tech 2. Noakes has got a shot of this.
Yeah, he has.
Big shot at it.
Swing it out, boys, swing it out.
Low hooks, etc.
Oh,
No, he's going to have to drop.
yeah.
He's having a go though.
He is really having a go. Boat is almost airborne. Plenty of centreboard, you can see. Ah! Oh,
Trying to drag that fluid wing to drive the apparent forward, right?
Yeah, just trying to reduce the pressure in the rig, Jimmy.
I think he's got a drop, hasn't he? More heel.
Going to have to.
No, it's good though.
Oh, good from here. Oh.
Yeah. Told you to pull it on a bit, Pete.
Meanwhile, Tech 2 is rolling up to windward of him, main and jib. Anyway, he's giving it a shot here, Noakesy.
Yeah, he's going to get there, I think. He can certainly flag that distance if he has to. And then if he can get to the point, even if he has to rag it for 30 seconds, advantage back to him. Tech 2 has to reset soon.
Yeah. See the crew right down the back. They're going to get there, I think.
They are.
Which is a great effort.
No, that's perfect.
From
So Tech 2 saying we're a bit conservative, but let's...
yeah, they're going to set any second.
Let's
There
go
they
to host.
Oh, Noakes is on a screamer. He's got to get round the point. Lift the centreboard to get round. No, he's right. He's around. Well, top marks to Noakes. That was terrific.
Finport, what's happening there, boys?
He's looking good in fourth spot.
Might have been a bit of weed. Boys were looking at Finport on the drone shot. Thought he might have cleared something off his rudder, which can lead to an early death in these boats.
That's what happened to him last week with his swim. He reckons he picked up a bag full of something on the...
Oh, that's the distance. A bit. The camera makes it probably a little closer than it is. Off George's head, Noakes will lead clearly. He's getting down to the turning mark. I don't think he'll have to jibe.
Both boats' language says we're laying the mark, Pete. Tech 2 as well, on the face of a pretty good path.
Well, they jumped away from Yandu. He was still a comfortable third. Well, that was terrific sailing, wasn't it, from Noakes? Really good. Wonderful. They're both laying to the mark easily. Noakes not far off a drop. Finport holding fourth. And they're battling hard to get round George's head, which they look as though they could do. Okay, there's Tech 2 Noakes dropping now. Tech 2 barrelling in. So what's the lead? We're going to have about 20 second, 15 second lead, I'd say, to Noakes.
Yep.
They're tidy.
Yep.
Tech 2 leaving it quite late.
They're doing the conservative drop. Bow down a bit. Quite windy at the corner, about 16, 17 knots of wind. And the dial up. Pretty tidy, Peter. Good enough for me.
Yep, very good. Here's the Finport. He got round George's head.
So 4 boat length lead to Noakes.
So the Finport are barrelling up in fourth. Yandu a very early conservative drop. Yep. Finport, meanwhile, he's barrelling down. He's closed the gap into third.
So good job
Third.
here.
He's in fourth. Fisher Paykel fifth.
And a decent old head sea coming around the corner.
Yeah, there's good swell coming through.
See Yandu here just bouncing away and Finport back in the distance. Pretty bouncy.
Okay. John Winning's round.
And Fisher and Paykel hanging on there. Big gap after sixth, yeah?
Go and get Fisher and Paykel. Tell them if you've got battery, they're just behind Finport.
So let's watch Finport because there's a pretty interesting corner, this one.
Very hairy corner, isn't it?
Hairycorner.com it's called.
There they go, early drop.
But you need
still
to
a lot of
leave
work
bit,
to do, yep.
You need to leave a bit extra, Pete. Even with your skill set, mate. The break, it's out there. Yeah. So for the viewers not familiar, we're about half a mile from the headland, southern headland, south reef of the corner, and the south-southeasterly swell, but it's a good couple of metres out on the reef there. Beautiful reef covered in sea urchins, Peter, and don't ask me how I know that.
The Nine Dragons Reef.
Nine Dragons Reef, it's got a few names.
Okay. Finport's round.
George Snow Reef as well.
Fourth.
Fisher and Paykel coming in.
Fisher Paykel, they got 2 jibes and in.
2 awkward jives.
Yeah,
Oh.
and not in easy
lot of
conditions.
Yeah,
Here they
Oh,
go.
wow, turn the boat, man. Crikey.
They got 1 jibe
job.
done.
Yeah, they've jibe and drop.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
Nathan Edwards, Greg Dixon supporting Jordan Gertis. 1 more jibe.
Here we go. What could
3,
go wrong,
2,
Pete? Any
1.
ideas? Oh, pretty safe.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. So, Pete, the breeze on average softer and back to the right, which is what the model said. How about that?
Rag and Famish with the purple chute. And behind them, Noakes Youth. And then way in the distance with the light blue turquoise chute is the Burrawang Hotel. They did have a capsize, so they've recovered somewhat. And so Fisher Paykel is in 5th spot. Rag 6th, Burrawang, Noakes Youth will be after that, then Burrawang. The Rag and Famish, Harry Price, Josh McKnight, and Harry Hall just jibing. Jibe drop.
Wow, that's unusual. Jibe dropping in a two-cell jibe back. So it's safe though. It is safe-ish, except that a big puff's coming to welcome them to the mark. Look.
Noakes Youth left of screen. The Burrawang screaming around George's head. Noakes Youth, Tom Kunich, Finn Sprott and Charlie Zeman. And when the new Noakes sailing team boat arrives, these boys will jump into the current Noakes boat, which is a pretty good boat to jump into, I would think. She'll be highly tuned and pretty quick. And generally this breeze looks as though it's softening, Andrew, doesn't it?
Yep, soft, but a little bit back to the right, a little bit.
Still a few little gnarly bits, but looking upwind to the leading group, they're in reasonable pressure, nothing too extreme. Here's the Burrawang.
Two up, or they've got a crew member lying in the bottom of the boat?
He's doing some tidy work on the VMG run.
There he is.
There you go.
There he is.
VMG extra.
There's three.
Yes. Ben Bradley, Rory Cox and Brandon Bank.
Cheerful wave.
Yeah. All happy.
Well, they're happy they're going to get around, I think.
It's the 18 Noakes there on the screen.
There's Noakes now. The pressure's up again.
And it's a bit back to front, Pete. The stronger wind is a little bit more left.
Yeah.
I mean, La Nina's got a lot to answer for.
Does. There's Yandu with Tech 2 in the background. They're probably about not quite halfway up this beat to Shark Island. Then they run back down to Athol where they started, and then the final beat from Athol to the finish at Clark Island. And looks like Tech 2 and Noakes be very close, vying for the lead with Yandu a solid third. Harbour starting to clear of traffic now. There's not too many boats left out here, a few pleasure boats, but that's about it. So it's a pretty good runway between the leading group and the turning mark and Shark.
Yeah.
One yacht left doing a
And a
Matador.
couple of Manly ferries.
Middle Harbour race.
The mighty Matador in the background, sorry.
Back 4. All good, bucko.
Sydney hotting up a little. Preparations for the Hobart race well underway, but plenty of money being chucked at it, I know that. So, Pete, looking at the leaders, how to guess? Tech 2's back in front.
I'd say that's correct, yep. All on a long port tack.
In line here with Yandu, Tech 2 tacking, and not in screen, but Noakes out to the right. And the Manly ferry coming to cause trouble for everybody.
Well, I think Tech 2 bailed out early, so he didn't get mixed up with the ferry.
Exactly correct. On the face of a pretty good right-hander, though, Pete.
Yandu will probably have to make a decision to bail out too, I would think.
Here they go.
Here they
Yep,
go, on
as I
the face of
expected.
the same puff that Tech 2 got on, which didn't get to Noakes. So a bit unusual. This little low brown clouds generated something.
Yeah, it's become a bit gloomy again on the harbour. We get to see a nice summer's day, really, with all this rain and wind we've had. It's
So, Pete, you see they upgraded from marginal La Nina to La Nina over the week.
Full on.
No, not full. They said just a moderate.
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 Good.
Moderate to marginal. That's a,
No, marginal to moderate.
Yeah, marginal to moderate. That's what I meant. Well, you knew what I meant.
So, Yandu and Tech 2 standing into Steel Point at Nielsen Park.
So here's the thing for the two leaders. Tech 2 and Noakes we're judged to be pretty close together, but because of the outgoing Manly ferry going to Manly, Noakes group, once they make a decision to stay on the other side of the ferry, have to stand on for quite a minute or three.
So it's a big split, isn't it?
It's a big split.
Just let that air reform, right?
Yep. And Tech 2 is doing the old-fashioned thing, hit Steel Point on the nose and tack. So we'll see. And if it's of any effect, the tide just starting to ebb now on the edges at least here.
Steel Point in the background of Yandu as they prepare to attack. There they go. See a few little puffs rolling down to them. And way in the distance, almost over Bradley's head, comes Noakes coming back on starboard. So a massive split.
Probably come out even, Pete.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think Tech 2 is in front, but
Only because we put the bets on going down that last run, Bucko.
oh, that's right. We propelled them to the finish line. No, just visually, if we're
Yeah.
it looks as if Noakes will be back to second here. We're travelling with the third place getter on the camera cat.
Talk about the setup on Yandu. Andrew, what do you think?
Nice, nice mid-range setup, Pete, everything good. A little bit of depth in the head of the main, which they can easily get rid of with a bit of Cunningham eye and a bit of bang. We'll watch him through the puff here. Jib's got some grunt in it. A little bit of sheet off and here he goes, Cunningham on. Look at that, Pete. You can see it from the camera boat.
Yeah.
Head of the main just open, beautiful. A little bit more groove width. Noakes coming back, not too far off being on screen. Yeah.
Tech 2 clear ahead.
And Noakes second. Wow, and Tech 2, in the distance. Enough room to tack clear ahead and to windward of Noakes. So that's a 30-second gain. There's the shot, viewers.
And Yandu closed up on Noakes there as well.
Yeah. So clearly advantage to the guys that went left. Funny old window, Pete, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see the squall on the water there.
Yeah.
Yandu just went through it. Noakes bailing out. What'll Tech 2 do?
I'll make a prediction here. Tech 2 will just follow them to some degree. Tech 2 historically not been afraid to chance their arm a bit, but ferry crossing them as well. Here they go. Loose cover really in a nice puff.
Yeah, they look pretty comfortable now, Tech 2.
Yeah, it looks like every bit of 30 seconds, doesn't it? So, probably a gain of 45 seconds or thereabouts. Wow.
See the three of them there in a moment lining up. There they are, 1, 2, 3. Yandu just tacking. Coming up to Shark Island turning mark. They're still about 500 metres to go to the turning mark, maybe a bit less. Just a nice loose cover by the Tech 2 boys, I would think, as we watch Noakes tack.
Yeah. And Noakes to some degree now, just probably preserving second.
It's still a race in 3. It's nothing.
Absolutely.
Nothing is over here by any means. Noakes a little bit closer that last couple of minutes.
Yep, you're right, Pete. So there's only, wow, 10 boat lengths from first to third.
Yes.
That's enough, not
Great
enough.
racing, isn't it?
Yep.
So who dares wins here with the next spinnaker set, Bucko?
Well, that wharf, Peter, I've been talking to you about that. Gee whiz.
Get it up early.
No, get past the wharf. Back in the olden days when we used to use the cardinal mark on the corner of the island as a rounding mark, there were occasions upon which things ended in tears in respect of said wharf. But now the mark's a little further space, but they've actually, yeah, where it's laid now, it's still a 2-star reach to the cardinal. But I can tell you this, Tech 2 will be clamped hard on Noakes on the ley line here, so Noakes just got to grin and bear it a bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to tough it out here. Well, Yandu's bailed out behind them.
Yeah, two more tacks. Tech 2 tacking on the ley line.
Tech.
And Noakes giving himself a little bit of wiggle room.
Is he laying? That's the question.
Well, they're both on the same spot. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
One would suggest if they both went at the same time.
no, Noakes is giving himself no wiggle room at all, in fact.
No, he's
No.
dropped down into his exhaust pipe there.
No. Tech 2 looks like they're comfortable.
It's a tight ley line, though.
They're good at it, Pete.
Yeah, well, it's tight, super tight.
Yeah. He might be under it. But it bolted in, that's for sure. But he got a good high slow mode, Tech 2.
That's what he's got to do at the moment. Yes, they're laying.
Yeah. Their accuracy's pretty good. Don't bet against them on average about these matters. Straight line speed upwind hasn't been that great today, but their tactical stuff is very good.
They're round. Tech 2 leads. Noakes second. And Yandu third. There's the totem pole. Shark Island.
So probably 10 seconds, in fact, if you put the clock on, but more to do with timing of the set for
Yes.
this time down.
Now it's back to Athol and then the beat to the finish.
But you'd think that Tech 2 might chance their arm a bit early because that might be the advantage given the breeze on average is a bit less.
Yandu's round.
But as we noted, it's gone back to the right a little, particularly up this end of the bay, so hard to put it up, Pete, when you bow at the mark, jib reaching. And then the bow comes up and you go, oh.
Why didn't I do it earlier? Okay, bow starting to go up now a little.
Still on Tech 2, Bucko?
Yep.
Who's going to push the button first here?
Well, a lot of little factors, but Tech 2's in a big puff now and Noakes in a lull, so that's a bit of a gainer there for Noakes. Sorry, for Tech 2.
Oh, Tech 2 in a beauty.
Tech 2
Really good gust.
got the bear down to the mark 2 sail.
Yandu not out of this by any means. Oh, look at Noakes and Tech 2. Look at this. Terrific shot.
So these guys, 2 sail reaching 18, 19, 20. Tech 2 going into hoist. Watch this.
There they go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
On the face of the puff, in the lull. Lovely, or just a little whiny.
That'll come out. Or will it? Yep.
Oh no, it'll always come out. Just takes a little
pull it
longer
a bit
to get-
harder.
Yeah.
Ah. Not the
No,
greatest set.
they've got a
coming.
little problem.
Is it out? It's
No,
still
there's
not set.
Some problem with the sheet.
Yeah. A little bit
Louis.
wobbly there. Oh, game on here.
Yeah.
Noakes are going to roll them. Oh dear, what's happened here? on the Tech 2. Spinning has got tangled, still not out. So they're coming now.
There we go.
Bang.
And the other guys haven't,
leads.
the other guys haven't
Yandu.
set yet. They have to
Yandu
set.
sets.
They have to set. Pressure
Throw a
on.
blanket over
Pressure
right.
on. Here they go.
Noakes holding again.
Yeah, and there's a race in 3. There goes Noakes for the set. Tech 2 and Yandu are off to the zoo.
Great set on the Noakes. Wow. Here we go. So now, who can time the drop?
Well, still Tech 2 leads. Even though that little wobble.
Just.
Yandu really threatening now for second.
So Tech 2 laying comfortably under the mark. Got a bit more wind than Noakes.
Yeah, big jump then. Noakes rolled him, but he got the Spinnaker finally set. Once he did, he just screamed away, which he's doing now.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yandu and Noakes very close for second. All 3 are at the moment laying down to the mark, which is way in the distance. And they're low of the mark now in this gust.
Yeah.
Way low.
Tech 2 won't be far off a drop here.
No. He's off to see the monkeys. Tech 2 at the zoo. They all are.
Pop past the island bar in the background, grab a cocktail before you go to the zoo.
It'll be he who drops first here.
The elephant.
It has to be Tech 2, surely.
Tech 2 must be on the verge.
He's way low on the mark. Noakes is going to go again.
Here he goes.
Putting the bow up.
Here he goes.
There goes Tech 2. He's way below the mark.
Yeah, but that's good, Pete.
Yeah, it is. I'm with you. Noakes now.
And Sean having a shot at it.
Another shot.
But drop on Tech 2 is pretty good. Didn't get off full 2/3 power at least.
Yandu just dropping.
Oh, so.
Tech 2 comes round the bow of Noakes. Look at this.
And I think he thinks that provided he leads at the mark, he'll be fine, yeah?
I think Noakes has got to drop now, surely.
There he goes.
Yeah. Wow, snakes and ladders. It's been thrilling stuff again. Noakes dropping, but Tech 2 will lead quite clearly at the mark. This is just the final beat to the finish up at Clark Island. We're here at Athelbite of Taronga Park Zoo. It's the Taronga Park Zoo wharf in the background. It's Tech 2, about 30 metres from the turning mark.
Yeah, so Tech 2 into the mark at full noise,
Yeah.
so that'll turn to a 20-second lead, I think, more or less.
So he got the job done very nicely there.
Yeah. And pretty nice mark rounding too, if you were taking notes.
Yeah, Dude's got himself into second. Let's hope everything stays together for Tech 2 after the misfortune of last
Plenty
week.
of wind for these guys rounding.
round. Well, Noakes.
Noakes not quite so tidy on the
Hang it
face
down,
of a
boys.
puff.
Swing it down.
And Tech 2, sorry, viewers, already back on starboard to cover.
And plenty of wind here.
Yep.
15, 18, at least.
Let's see if he can keep the turn on the shot.
So, Pete, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
20 odd seconds.
Yeah, there's plenty of wind here.
Remade there by Tech 2.
You got battery?
This is the fight for second. Looking back down the fleet off camera, I think it's Fisher Paykel in 4th spot. I cannot see the mighty Finport anywhere. And
Probably
Rag and Famish at
sixth
5th.
position, I think, Pete.
They Rag and Famish will be 5th.
Yeah, Vintex up to 6, I think. Sorry, Noakes Youth up to 6. Oh, no, Finport there. Sorry, Pete. Yeah.
Yes, Finport will be 6th. But anyway,
Sorry, viewers. We're on Tech 2, but in the far distance are 4th, 5th and 6th.
Fisher Paykel.
On Fisher and Paykel in 4th. Just coming past the headland. So about 2 minutes in arrears.
that's Bradley's Head behind them, and you'll see them shortly. Tech 2, big split. They've split away from Yandu and Noakes. There's the Rag, Bradley's Head in the background, and any second you'll see Tech 2 still on starboard, laying into Bradley's Head. There they are.
And in the background,
Yep. The Rag.
the Rag and Famish.
Wow, they're gutsy split here, Andrew.
Yeah, but they tacked on the face of a right-handed puff, Pete, so pretty confident they are.
Yandu and Noakes have gone right out on port, have just finally tacked.
And 2 extra tacks on cheap.
They look all right here, these two, Yandu and
Yeah.
Noakes. They're high on starboard.
The start of the end, but more ferry track interference as well.
Oh, come on, Ferry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have a look.
Oh, jeez. But there's Tech 2 down on Bradley's. He looks okay, I think.
He just got one big cruise boat down there, but
He had a commanding, well, not commanding, he had a solid lead at the last Wimbledon mark, but
gave most of it back and then regained it.
you'd be a bit nervous, I think, looking back at the fleet.
No, but just watch this. Watch winning here through the... Sorry, we're on Noakes. Yep.
There's Yandu just in the lee of the ferry, and they're going to get some ferry wake here.
And then a punchy little puff.
Well, if he gets a right-hander, he'll be...
Got all right. Got all right.
Got a righty there now.
Yeah.
He's clearly second.
Yeah.
And he's more right, the better he looks.
And now, Pete, Tech
Well,
2.
now he's...
Great shot here for the trim of Tech 2, girls and boys. It's fantastic. Beautiful pictures. Dylan, thank you. There is a God.
Look at that, that's wonderful. Yeah, there's that. I think Tech 2, he's stay on starboard. He did what he did last time, I think, went right out to the left. So these other two came up to the right, it did. The Blue Spinnakers, Burrowang, he would be...
Seventh, perhaps, Pete, is it? Fifth, sixth, seven, yeah, I
Fisher
think.
and Pykel's fourth. Finport's there. Noakes Youth, then Burrowang, yeah. Okay, but still up for grabs. First, second and third. The second heat of the state championships, and also for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. I think
Tech 2 is tacked just to the right of screen.
Yeah, Tech 2 just coming in a shot now. And across Noakes, but, you know.
he's across Noakes. Yandu. Tech 2 wants the lefty. Yandu wants the righty. I think Tech 2 will be ahead. But it's close. Oh, more right on Yandu here.
When he's in high right.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Tech 2's not coming back on anything flash.
No.
He's across Noakes, there's no doubt about that. So Noakes is be
And by the... No, he's across Yandu.
across Yandu, yes.
Across Yandu.
But not by much.
No, not by much. 5 boat lengths, perhaps. Given they were separated by about 100 boat lengths.
Yes.
You know.
Now, Tech 2 just got to play it cool.
It's not a big lead, though, is it?
No, it's not.
20 seconds. Probably not too much different what they went around the mark with, actually, Pete, is it? Look at that.
It's coming up to the finish in Double Bay, the head of Double Bay. Tech 2 leads.
Noakes just tacking there on screen.
Yeah, Yandu will be clearly second.
And Tech 2, subject to the cover from the spectator ferry, will go to a lay line here, I think.
He's got good pressure on
Yeah,
Tech 2.
got a great line of breeze. So, if we march along with him. Yep, fantastic. Setting up to tack. 10, 5, 4, 3, go. Beautiful. Oh, they might be short. They've got a lifting puff coming,
Yeah.
but still they've consolidated pretty well there, Pete, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Well, what a really close race this has been all the way through.
Yeah, on the right side of this last puff they are.
There's Yandu not out of
Someone's
it
got
yet.
to break here between
Yandu's not out of
Yandu
it, but
and
he's Tech 2 will be
both are
across him.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tech 2 will just do it, I think, Jimmy. We get the bow across in front, tack and come in.
He's laying, Pete, I think. Yeah, he's laying neatly.
Yeah, just nicely lifting now into the finish. There's the finishing mark, the black and white check. Stand by, Tech 2 first. Well done. Great effort. Jack
Awesome.
McCartney, Luke Parkinson, Lewis Brake. Oh, here's a go for second.
Noakes is going to get second.
Noakes is on starboard tack.
Yeah.
What's happening here? Oh,
Noakes had to duck.
Oh, yeah. He'll get second anyway, Noakes.
Yes, correct, Pete.
Yeah, Noakes second.
Woody slightly scratchy in the
Yes,
turn.
he probably didn't think far enough ahead to get that one right, unfortunately. Anyway, good effort from those two, both those boats.
Good show, boys.
Noakes and Yandu.
Yeah, all good.
Well, they've been the three standout performers this year. So, solid performance by Noakes. That's a first and second in the two heats of the championship. Yandu a second and third. Tech 2 a fifth and a first. Remembering he suffered rig damage last week when he was in second spot. But a very solid win to Jack McCartney today. He must be very pleased. Well, all three would be pleased, Andrew, with their performance, wouldn't they?
I don't think between them they would share a single disappointment, Pete, really. Both took most of their opportunities, a couple of little errors from each boat, but only little ones. And difficult to criticise, quite a tough day.
Well, was Queen Victoria say there was no second? There's no fourth, is there, at the moment? They're
Not much of a fourth, Your Majesty.
way down. I think we saw it. Fisher and Pike might be fourth.
Yep.
There they are. They've struggled away and hung in there.
Rags just to the right of screen.
Yeah, they might be fourth, actually. Jimmy, might they?
And then Finport coming in over on our, or the right of screen, the left of screen, sorry.
Yeah.
They're coming in hot, so.
Yeah, I think the rag are across Fisher and Pike.
Yep, the cross is coming up shortly.
Yeah, they will be, I think.
It's one side of the harbour to the other with that camera angle. There we go.
There they are. There's the rag across. And is that Finport to the left, is it? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Finport, and I'm assuming, is that Noakes Youth with
Yeah, Noakes Youth, I think's next. Yeah.
Okay, they've done a
They've
good
done
job.
an amazing job.
So, Pete, I think all these guys have been in the tide or had a
Malfunction or something?
malfunction
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
or chicken wing or whatever words you want to use. But
We saw Finport at the first mark. We thought he was going home, didn't we?
No, that's right. But the gap,
He was pointing in the wrong direction.
the gap of about 3 minutes to this group indicates they probably sailed okay, apart from a couple of, whatevers. So I think out of that, the Ragged Family, she's going to get fourth. And very close, Finport and Fisher and Pike for fifth. And Noakes Youth, sixth. Good.
Yes, and there's still a few stragglers out, but they're a long, long way back. I think the Shore and Partners still going. Looks like Birkenhead Point. Can't see many others than that. Don't know where the Burrowang ended up after all of that. He was.
I've seen the Barrowang just before.
Is he afloat or is
yeah,
he?
he's upright. He was
Okay.
somewhere down near the bottom mark, down in the zoo.
Well, here's the battle for fourth.
Bit of covering for Ragged Famish on the
Rag,
Fisher and Pike.
Fisher and Pike and Finport.
Finport clearly sixth, but not far out of it. A bit like the first three, Pete, isn't it?
Yep. Harry Price in the Rag and Famish. Jordan Gertis in Fisher and Pike. And Finport with Keegan York at the helm.
So Keegan's been sort of coming at him a bit all day, but gave him a pretty good start at the top mark the first time.
Breeze, quite spiky again. Plenty of it here.
Yeah. So but all the boats probably just one more tack to complete. And Keegan looking at a big, good left-hander coming in. He's got a bit to make up, but he's a chance. How good's the tack, Pete?
Needs to be perfect at about another 100 metres upwind. He might get there, but
Oh, that wasn't. It wasn't.
that wasn't. Oh,
That was the reverse of perfect, whatever that's called. The mildly imperfect.
okay. Rag will be fourth.
Yeah, the rag crosses Fisher and Pike all
Fifth. Sixth will be Finport.
So Finport needed the best tack of their lives, and they
Yeah,
had
they
Left it at home.
left it at home,
That's right.
but still.
Anyway, all these three, solid effort.
So
Not the easiest of days.
Pete, no, I was going to say the crews have earned their money today, mate. It's she's a long track down to Obelisk, and
One of the hardest courses.
it gets harder as it goes down there.
The older you get.
Yeah, and that too. We won't mention that. But and you know, for some of these guys like the Rag and to some degree the new combinations, Fisher and Peichel and Finport, they'd be happy. The Noakes youth guys coming up here with the Vintex Sail Signs, going to get 7th. I think they were in the tide at one point.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
Not being in the tide with the 7th.
Yeah, the 7th. Exactly.
No, that's a very good effort. Noakes youth.
Sydney Harbour's a bit of a beast in a southerly, we would say.
Sorts some men out from the boys, doesn't it?
Tom Cunnage, Finn Sprott and Charlie Zeman. Well done.
There's the Spectator Ferry,
Yep.
Royale.
So the punters have got some.
Throwing their tickets away.
No, they've got some solid, fairly reliable favourites to back, Pete. You know.
Here comes the Burrawang. She's had her moments today as well.
I think we should rename it the Mighty Burrowang. And good effort, you know, from Ben Bradley, Jimmy, filling in on the stick. That's
Mate, huge effort for him.
yeah. And
Yep.
from Brandon and Rory pulling the ropes, it's
Well, and a southerly too, you know.
Yeah, I like, yeah.
Welcome to steering an 18.
never anybody's favourite win, trust me.
No.
What's his background? 16s?
Yeah, 16-foot skiffs down at St George.
Uh-huh.
Where,
Quite a character.
where the Sudley's nice and smooth. Different to a Sydney Harbour Sudley.
Their training ground down there's the run out tide nor'easter.
Yeah, that's right. Back to front, isn't it? Tough place to sail, Botany Bay, and a run out. Doll's Point. Yeah, I can remember being there and going, what? Fantastic.
Great on-board shot.
Still got to do some work on the trapeze technique, but still got it round, and that's
8th position.
a good achievement. I think they were on the riding lever for a minute or two amidst all that, but it's all right.
No, I think the next on course, guys, is the 18-footers bar and restaurant, which is Pedro.
Shaw and Partners
Shaw and Partners.
fighting in a battle.
Yeah. It was Shaw and Partners last year. Who was steering that? Was it?
Jim Cooley,
Right.
and Sean Connor and Harry Bethwaite.
Right. So it's a whole new crew
Yep.
team aboard Shaw and Partners. Yep.
Yep.
And they're showing all the signs thereof, Pete.
Yeah. Well, it's a steep learning curve, as you well know. It's not the easiest boat to jump in and
No, I think it might be
win first up, but so it's good on them for getting round today. And there's the 18-footer bar and restaurant. They'll be next. So look, I think today is probably done and dusted. Certainly the race has been a really very, very exciting race as we're watching the 18-foot bar and restaurant come up to the finish.
Coming in
Tech
for
2 with a
attack.
winner. Jack McCartney, Luke Parkinson and Lewis Brake. Noakes sailing with Sean Langman was second. Yandu, John Winning third. The Rag and Famish fourth. Fisher and Peichel fifth. Finport sixth. Noakes Youth seventh and the Burrawang Hotel eighth. And don't forget, please, if you're sharing pictures or the stream, feel free to do the right thing and credit Sail Media correctly, because we've some fantastic shots out there today, both from the drone and from our onboard cameras. And I think you'll really appreciate those shots.
Yeah, and speaking on behalf, I think, of everybody, thanks to Piers, Chits, Dylan, particularly for the mighty high quality of those pictures and great pictures of the rigs of the skiffs, which the crews do use to reference their settings to some degree. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, and we're getting a lot of praise around the waterfront and from everywhere about the quality of the pictures. maybe the quality of the commentary's got to be lifted, but anyway, we're doing our best. We'll do it. We'll keep working at it. We'll keep practicing. But from a rather grey but still windy Sydney Harbour after another exciting race, the 18-footers, we hope to see you next week. We've got another heat of the state championship, but today belonged to Tech 2 and closely followed by Noakes and Yandus. So on behalf of the Sale Media team, we say thank you to all the boys that helped us bring it to you. And on behalf of Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, this is Peter Shipway saying good afternoon from Sydney Harbour, and we look forward to your company next Sunday.